Well, the thing for me it was all about the camaraderie, us coming together. And you didn't know it at the time. People always say that you don't realize what you had till it was gone. But for us, that was just a building point in our dang relationship as friends, becoming tight as brothers. And as far as the creative part of it, man, it was just being yourself.
Geographics Media.
A man called a king without a throne.
Welcome, friends, family, loyal subjects to the King Without a Throne podcast. It's your boy CLB5 and our executive producer extraordinaire, Cyncere Wizdumb. Brother, how you doing?
I'm doing well, King. Peace. How you be?
And as old, what Leroy would say, Leroy and Skillet, live between the sky and the earth and ain't touching dirt nowhere.
Oh, classic, man. I appreciate the intro, man. I'm just still trying to learn and grow, but you make it easy when I'm doing this work. I look at your podcast as if I'm scoring movie soundtrack. It's so dope to me. I have so much fun doing these because you just tell such great stories, and then you take me down memory lane.
I appreciate that, man. It's a new endeavor for me, but I'm learning a lot and I'm really enjoying it. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it, man. So a couple of days ago, I was just on Hulu and I saw pin for Black Dynamite, man. It got me reminiscing of the good old Blaxploitation, Black cinema days growing up with us in the 80s and the 90s back at the crib, man. We spent a lot of afternoon, a lot of evening watching Dolomite, Devil's Son-in-Law, Disco Godfather. Rudy Ray Moore was our go-to guy, man. And it just got me reminiscing on those days.
To younger people who listening to this, once upon a time, there was a store that you would go to and you would rent these things called VHS cassettes. You would have to go to the movie store.
Deal, bro, man. On a Friday after school, you might have a couple of bucks and you would go to, we had in a small town, we didn't have Blockbuster or major chain. So yeah, you have a couple of bucks, your mom or your pops or whoever, anybody that give you a ride, they will let you use the video card. I'm gonna speak for myself personally. I think it was like 86, 87. I was going through my Blaxploitation phase. Everything that was black focus or black centered, I rented it. Any chance I got. Penitentiary, 1, 2, 3. Black Sisters Revenge, Coffee, like you said, the Max Julian, Carol Speed, and that was very formative in my cinema education, as you say, because like I said, I was real heavy into the Blaxploitation around that age. Big Jay was staying over at Tall Timbers. We would meet up over there like on a Friday after work, after school work, or everybody would congregate, man. We would throw on a bootleg copy of Dolomite and just have a blast with it, man. You remember them days right there, right?
Man, who can forget them? As a matter of fact, that cat Ruck was telling me the other day, I conversed with him for a bit. He said to me, "Hey, man, we all need to get together. We ain't getting no younger and watch them old Dolomite movies. You,
Bruh.
Jason, old Corey, all of us need to get together." I told him, bruh, I agree with you, but every time we try to do this, you're the one that don't show up.
Exactly, bro. Oh, man, I got to run down to Walmart. I will be right back. I'll be right back, and
I watched Dolomite on Tubi a few weeks ago and laughed and went down memory lane because we knew that movie so hard. Yo, King, I don't know if you remember this, but a few years ago, I was in graduate school. You sent me this video of some students, I think they may have been at USC, reenacting
the parking lot scene.
The parking lot
Mitchell
scene.
and White. I think that was like some graduate students, some Caucasian brothers, man, and they had reenacted that scene, man. But that lets you know the impact that movie had. We at our big age, even then, we were a lot younger when that skit was made. But those cats, man, they were probably like in their late teens, early 20s. And for them to have watched Dolomite and have such an affinity for it, to recreate that pivotal scene in the movie, man, that was hilarious, bro.
I have been trying for a solid year on and off to find that, and I cannot. Another frame up.
Yeah. So you think you're smart. You got that big fancy car there. You got those bright, fancy clothes, got all the breaking for you.
You forgot about the white
the
ones.
white ones. You move your ass and you move it fast. And just to let you know, we mean business. Damn, work Dolomite over, man. And punched. He slumped down up against that Cadillac, man, and jumped up and did a god awful karate kick to the back, man. It took out
he sure
Mitchell
did.
and White. It was a horrible
He
kick, man.
Horrible
No kind of
kick.
athleticism.
None at all. Oh man, and just to show some love and respect to that era, got to
There
bring
you go. Boom mic in the frame. Boom mic in the frame.
Word up. I can't believe you just brought that up. But you know something? I watched Disco Godfather and just realized that Hawthorne James was in that movie. If you don't know who Hawthorne James is, he's the guy that played Big Red on the 5 Heartbeats.
Yep. Yeah.
And,
That's a big old
but
brother, though, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And so he was straight up skinny.
Yeah, skinny there, because that was, Disco Godfather, what was that, like 77, 78?
Something like that. I don't even
Yeah.
remember. I don't even remember, man. But I was like, man, that's Hawthorne James.
Yeah,
And
and
so-
and if you obviously you're gonna remember him from Big Red from 5 Heartbeats.
When we're talking about that pivotal point in our coming up, we watched stuff like that, did what we did, just hung out, ate good.
Yeah,
We also did writing, and we grew. We watched stuff like that. We talked, and we grew a lot. But what do you think about that era of us watching those movies and doing the stuff we was doing at that time? What do you think you pulled out of it as far as how it affected us in our growth?
well, the thing for me was all about the camaraderie, us coming together, and you didn't know it at the time. But people always say that you don't realize what you had till it was gone. But for us, that was just a building point in our dang relationships as friends, becoming tight as brothers. And as far as the creative part of it, man, it was just being yourself. Jay was always big into art. You was always doing your thing with music. And I always liked to dibble and dabble with writing and creating stuff like that, in the story format. I might not be doing a lot of writing of it, but doing like an oral presentation with it. So, man, us hanging out, just going back and forth, watching those old movies, listening to those old records and whatever, the old 70s funk that coincided with those 70s Blaxploitation films, and then the hip hop we was listening to, going into seeing those new age 90s cinema like New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, and Posse.
But looking back at those movies, I realized that a lot of those movies made certain political statements when you paid attention to them and you moved the comedy out of the way a little bit. For instance, in Double Son-in-Law, when Petey Wheatstraw's car got stripped down, he made a comment about drugs, how it's taking over the community, making people steal. And he made a point to tell people, remember their faces, because these are the people who are breaking into your places because of this.
That scene in Devil's Son-in-Law, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I got, bro, like I said, I know that movie like the back of my hand and the front going forward. But the part where they had, he came out of the club and them junkies were stripping down his car and he's like, God dang, dope head junkies make me sick. That's why niggas in the ghetto can't have. He chased them down and beat them up, and he cornered them in that back alley. You got a lot of nerve messing with my car. Dope head junkies, that's all you are. You steal from your mama, take the limbs off a tree, but I'm gonna kick your tail for messing with me.
As funny as that scene was, it was just a powerful scene to me looking at it now. Now, some stuff I look at to be entertained, but I watch to see points that are being made or what I can learn.
Mm-hmm.
The implications that certain things have on society at large. When I watch TV, I watch it a lot differently.
Yes.
When I listen to music, I listen a lot differently. So that's why I'm big on putting out positive stuff.
Exactly.
Even in Dolomite, it made a point to show how people would frame you with drugs and how drugs were taking over the community, who was behind a lot of the drugs in the community. And it was a lot of political stuff in it that back then I didn't grasp, but watching it later in life, I can pick it all out. But
Exactly.
it's still good stuff. We mentioned Hawthorne James. That was one of his earlier movies. But Dolomite, James Ingram, all up in it.
James Ingram.
I saw an interview with James Ingram before he passed away where he was talking about that was his first movie. Rudy Ray Moore started some careers, but I had to throw that out there, the political references in those movies, as well as the comedy, as well as one more thing I want to bring up about those movies. People don't want to talk about how entrepreneurial some of those movies were.
Yeah.
Those people had to make it
on a shoestring budget, literally.
Yes.
Wanted that go to Netflix, and Eddie Murphy had a passion project, and it's pretty much like a documentary / recreation of those films, and Rudy Ray Moore and his production skills and what it took for him to get those movies off the ground. And like you were just saying, man, it took a lot of grit, hard work, and just determination to get those films made. This was like Warner Brothers or MGM coming with big buckets of money to, finance these movies. No, this was almost like a guerrilla style funding, just getting money up wherever you could and making it work. Shout out to Eddie Murphy for, putting his thing down with that. I love that movie. How he showed love to Rudy Ray Moore and, and all the struggles he had coming up trying to get those films made.
It was a good movie for real. Learning about the backstory to what made that happen. It's been people in the industry, as far as Black people are concerned, that have paved the way that no one really talks about anymore. People don't talk about the Rudy Ray Moores. People don't talk about Red Fox, who was a mogul. Red Fox had a record label, for God's sake, back in the day.
Melvin Van Peebles.
Yep. Yes, it's so many people that paved the way, and you can go way back before that. If you want to learn about a lot of the Black people from yesteryear, from the 20s, the 30s, who made movies, look at the struggles that they went through and how they just knocked down so many doors. Tyler Perry is the man right now. That brother is amazing with his stuff that he does, but just look at the people that came way before and what they did. They went through some stuff. The unsung heroes. That's better, King. That's a better way of looking at it. So I'm glad you took the time to send a shout out to Blaxploitation, to Dolomite, to The Mac, to Foxy Brown, to all of these movies that made our childhood, that made our teenage years, that made our high school years, because we went back in high school and started looking at those things again.
Check that out. Posse, Mario Van Peebles, that was released in 1993. Stands out to me because that was the year I graduated from high school. And then right before I went off to college, I went to the movies and saw it. And Mario Van Peebles directed and starred in it, of course. Big Daddy Kane, Tone Loc, rest in peace to Tiny Zeus Lister. One of the Baldwin brothers was in there. And Billy Zane, he was in that joint also. Posse was a good historical, fictional account of that. What was the war? The War of 1812, with Black soldiers fighting down in Cuba and returning to the States and going through all the injustices and racial prejudice they had to fight through and to get their just due. And interesting story, just with the whole phrase posse that goes along with that time frame.
I know where you about to go. I know where you about to go.
It was around summertime, 93, like I said, they just graduated high school. And for whatever reason, I don't know who did this or why they did this. Somebody had spray painted the word posse on the Elberson Elementary gym in big white letters.
I remember this.
Just spray painted out of the blue, like posse. Like, okay. I was like, damn, must just been a big fan of the movie. It really struck a chord with them to the point where they went out and committed a rogue act of vandalism by spray painting the elementary school gym. About a week later, it went late. With no kind of after hours thing. It was just a random, like, Wednesday afternoon. Like I said, it's summertime. We out of school. Get ready to go to college. I ain't got to work that day. So we was just up there clowning around playing video games. A couple of cats was in there shooting pool. It was a decent enough crowd for an afternoon during the week. And then one of the neighborhood uncles came in. And he had on a fatigue jacket. And he bust through the door like, like wide earth in the Wild West in the saloon. Yeah. I don't know what these niggas in around here thinking, man. You know, but I'm him. I'm that dude. Where's this coming from? So no, everybody like, okay, we knew why he was, you know, neighborhood uncle. So we knew what the story was. Nobody paid him any attention. So he come in and he walk around like he's commanding the audience and just, yeah. Everybody think the posse. I don't know who spray painted up at the gym. But I'm the real posse. And he turned around and pointed at the back of his jacket, right? And he had took a marker, man, and wrote posse on the back of his fatigue jacket in the black magic marker. So as he's walking out he looked and his nephew was over there. So he's like, nephew, turn off my lights. And he did an ugly wind up and pitched his keys and hit him in the chest with him. And then the nephew, he trying to play it off. He embarrassed. Who he talking to? We looking at him like, nigga, he talking to you? That's your uncle? What you talking about? Man, I love the crib, but that was one of them instances where it caught you off guard. But then when it shook out and he left out and slammed the door and walked out, we was like, oh, hell nah.
Crib is a different place, bruh. It's a different place. So shout out to all of the people at the crib. Shout out to all of our funny characters, those that are here and those who are long gone. Each and every one of you played a part in our lives somehow to give us stuff to laugh at to this day and stuff to just love on to this day because everybody was cool. What else you got on deck?
Hey, man, we're going down memory lane with those stories, man. I think TMZ just did a little documentary about Michael Jackson when he was doing a Pepsi commercial and he had the incident and the mishap.
Right.
And his hair caught on fire. That happened in 1984, right? And when this happened, right, me and some of the other neighborhood kids, we were over at my house. It was one of the rare times my mom let me have a sleepover. And so that was the big news of the day, man. You know, Michael Jackson had injured himself. He had suffered like third-degree burns or something like that. This was before the age, obviously, of social media. So there was no constant media outlets going 24/7. 1984. So us being kids, we trying to piece together what had happened. This kid said Michael Jackson was at one of those fancy restaurants in LA where they come to your table and they have open flames and they be cooking. And so the cook was right by the table cooking with an open flame and Michael Jackson was drunk. And somebody said, Michael Jackson, you can't moonwalk while you drunk. He's like, watch this. And he got up and he was drunk and started moonwalking into the open grill and it caught on fire.
That's terrible, man.
And it swore up and down that what happened, like they was there. And we ate it up, hook, line, and sinker. I went so far that Sunday at Sunday school, I told my Sunday school teacher that, and she was cracking up laughing. Corey, I don't think that would happen. It's true. He probably some of that white liquor, and he moonwalked into that grill and open flame, and the hair caught on fire, and they had to save him and rush him to the hospital. And she was crying, laughing. I'm talking about tears streaming down her face, man. But from the active imagination of 9-year-olds, man.
Let me tell you something. Michael Jackson to this day is the dude. Wherever our parents on up to kids and grandkids of today know this person.
Yes.
His old stuff.
Yes. Beat
It. They know the Thriller album and they know all of this stuff. But with that being said, when we were younger coming up, you ever noticed that every function that was going on, somebody lied and said he was gonna be there. Michael Jackson gonna be at the skating ring Sunday. Somebody can have a house party. Michael Jackson gonna be at the house at her party, at his party. Really? And we would get clothes and be prepared for some reason.
Oh my God, I forgot about that skating ring. I heard that several times. I remember that vividly. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot, but you struck a chord with that one.
The people at the skating rink didn't care because they were packed out from different counties, all over the place, thinking this man gonna be there.
Yep, because I remember, man, now did you say that? I remember one time that rumor was going around that Michael Jackson was coming to the skating rink, and we asked the owner that, Mr. So-and-so, is Michael Jackson coming to the skating rink this weekend? He never said yes or no, obviously. He just started laughing. And we're like, see? See, he gonna be there.
Man, folk would show up to the skating rink dressed like him, everything.
Oh my God.
My mama bought a Thriller jacket for me. I had a Thriller jacket.
Damn, not the pleather one, right?
You know it was pleather.
Pleather.
You know it was pleather. And it wasn't even it wasn't the red one. It was the black one with the red stripes.
Yeah, the opposite. Have some zippers?
No, that's the Beat It jacket. I didn't have it.
Okay, all right. I
had the Thriller jacket, man. My mama
Thriller was black.
me.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, Thriller had a red jacket too, but that's how you knew it wasn't the real
Jean
one.
with the black jacket. Yeah, he had a red jacket in Thriller also. Yeah,
correct. So my mama bought me that jacket to go to the skating rink, and she knew he wasn't gonna be there. But oh well,
just entertaining you.
She bought me that jacket and some black leather pants.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, it gets worse, bro. You got to understand, when I was that age, I weigh what I weigh now. Now it looks all right. Back then, I was just a short, dumpy, big, fat kid with some black leather pants on and a doggone Thriller jacket.
With some white socks.
This is the worst part. And a beret.
Hey, wait a minute. So you're a cross between Fred Rerun Barry and Michael Jackson?
Yep.
Who put that together? She did or you?
Listen, at a young age, I made the decision that when I have a job and make my own money, I would never, ever let anyone dress me again unless that was their job. I go to a tailor, get a suit, and they'll fix it up. No. If I get nothing else, I got to make sure I get clothes. That's why I probably had no Valentine coming up, because of stuff like that. They may not have even played a Michael Jackson song that night. Yeah, man, Elberton, and I'm sure other towns. Drop it in the comments.
Oh my God, well, I'm pretty sure people got some story to tell about Run DMC, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson coming to their town for whatever reason. Oh my goodness.
Drop it in the comments. We want to hear about that.
No, man, please do. That's a series upon itself.
By the way, I got to stop for a second. I've had a few people comment, and I'm going back to our content right quick.
Go ahead.
Our content podcast, the Valentine's Day Baco episode.
Yeah.
I have had a few people come to me about the word balloon.
Obviously, we know how to pronounce it correctly. It's balloon. Balloon just called back to some stuff back home. And one of my coworkers, he says balloon also. He's from North Carolina, so that's why it wasn't even a conscious reference when I did it on that episode. I was just being silly and playing around.
It was hilarious. People won't stop laughing at it. They laughing at that. They laughing at the cookie cake, and they laughing at my pain of cutting the balloon, watching it float off. Just a bad thing.
That was all I had right there for this memory lane, man. That was some good stuff right there, man. Wanted to give some homage and some respect to those OGs to help form some great memory and share those stories about the crib and some of the characters and some of the people that were dressed like characters on random occasions.
So what from this episode of Blaxploitation and more Elberton rumors that still have a life to this day. Hey man, whatever you pulled out of it, King.
Hey man, they said just have it fun. I'm just glad to be here, presented our stories, having a good time, and just thankful for the audience for tuning in. Whether it's 1, 10, 100, 1,000, or a million, glad you're here, man. We just keep on doing this. Until next time. King Without a Throne podcast, coming at you on all available platforms, Boazman 5, TikTok, and Instagram. So, and my government name on Facebook. The email address is coming soon. So we're working on all that, getting all the kinks and the formalities out, and all that's coming soon. So another great episode. So Cyncere, give him your salutations before we depart.
When I deal with a king without a throne, I'm dealing with a gentleman who just has so much love in his heart and can make the world a happy place. So you can get at me on TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, at Wizdumb, WIZDUMB 1914. That's Wizdumb 1914. get at myself, our other brother, Big J the artist, on the Our Content podcast. So stay tuned. Words of Cyncere Wizdumb coming soon. About to go into production on that. Another Geographics Media production.
All right. Until next time, good people, stay positive.